Hi guys, welcome to ThrustZone.com. This is Mohit Soni and we are beginning from the interior while driving the new Ford Figo automatic, because what's new here is the automatic version which is now mated to the 1.2 motor, not the 1.5, which now makes it more tax friendly and much more pricing proposition. So since we are inside and driving, let's begin with the driving part itself, and let me floor it for you in the sport mode to make you hear that very sporty soundtrack that is coming from a 3-cylinder motor, which is surprising. It did surprise me while I was driving the BS4 version today. This is the first time we are driving the BS6 version, and what changes can I feel immediately is the fact that this engine feels much more linear, smoother. Of course, it's got the thrumminess and it's not very buttery smooth, but it is it rides clean reads, so you can live with it easily. What else? This engine has been delivering around 13 kilometers. We've been driving it all day, and that is quite good. Quite good numbers for a car of this size and segment. This engine is actually the 1.2 liter 3-cylinder motor, which makes segment leading 96 PS of power and 190 Newton meters of torque. So doing this is absolutely no problem. It does go ahead with authority. Ford is not pitching it to be really sporty because it's not that sporty, because there is the Volkswagen Polo and the Grand i10 Turbo which are competing in that segment. This basically makes it just an automatic gearbox with a 1.2 motor. So it's got only 190 Newton meters of torque and 96 PS, which is quite high for a naturally aspirated motor in this segment by a considerable margin. So you're getting sort of the premium experience, but not the sporty experience that we yearn from. Of course, the turbo motor 1 liter has been long gone from the Ford stable. But what is really impressive is this 6-speed torque converter. I think ever since I'm driving it since 8 o'clock in the morning till right now, which is now 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there has not been a single shift that I felt was wrongly done, and that is very high praise, because you don't get fantastic gearboxes like this. It's downshifting right now, I can't feel it. I felt downshift in much more premium luxury cars, and this is not making me feel that it's downshifting or upshifting. It's so smooth and seamless, and it's quite quick to respond as well. In S mode, it shifts to 6500 RPM. And let me also tell you something. We are now going to do 120 kilometers. Listen to this. This sounds like a 90s video game. I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds like a video game from the 90s. I don't know whether Ford wants us to have fun while speeding, and I don't know whether that is right in an appropriate way or not, but that sounds like a 90s video game, and it does definitely resonate with me quite well, because we've all been playing video games ever since, and this sound exactly reminds me of that. I think this is one of the most rather witty takes on the speed warning, and I think if they've done it on purpose, thank you so much. But coming back to the ride and handling part, well, this is one of the must really fun to drive cars. I'm taking a sweeper at triple-digit speeds. There is no body roll that is forcing me to back down or slow down a bit. It just pushes ahead. It takes corners so nicely. It darts into corners so well. The steering is quick enough. Of course, there's not enough feedback from the steering. It's light most of the time. Even when I'm doing 80-90 kilometers an hour, the steering is precise, but the feedback is not there. It doesn't weigh up that well, and of course, we are just getting used to these steerings now. There's hardly any great feedback oriented steerings left in the Indian market or even world markets, if I'm not wrong, and this is something we are getting used to. But if it's a precise steering and it is light in the city, you're going to enjoy it on a daily basis, and going to be fairly confident, because at least you know you can feel what the steering is doing at any given speed. So I think it's not that bad. Brakes, well, it is coming to a halt from triple-digit speeds quite quickly. The pedal bite is sharp enough, and well, we've not pushed the car entirely, no racetrack oriented things, but tires are holding up really well. Brakes are good, pedal bite is sharp enough, and that's what the Ford Figo is like to drive. Well, it remains one of the most most fun to drive cars in this segment with this naturally aspirated motor. Of course, the world and the competitors are going turbo. The Ford did that years ago. Now they're backed off. We don't know when we're going to see a turbo motor from Ford anytime soon. And so another great feature of this gearbox, fantastic gearbox, is this sort of paddle shifters which are supposed to be on the steering wheel, but this time they are on the gear lever itself, so you can control the gear shifts from here itself. Obviously the plus means upshift and the minus means downshift, and I think that's also great that great thing to have. Despite this gearbox is not going to disappoint you, even in our driving style, which was slightly quicker, it did not warrant me to get my hands on this, because most of the time the gearbox complied quite well. Let me just run you through the features and the exterior changes of the car now. So this is the exterior of the car. As you can see, the silhouette is the same. In fact, everything else is the same except for these new alloy wheels, which actually look very good and are much better than the older alloy wheels that we saw. And you see there's a lot of chrome treatment, despite this is a hatchback, but it's also got blackened elements on the inside of the headlamp. And the C-ring that was seen with the facelift is here. The honeycomb grille also looks very impressive. So the overall car continues to be very smart, very handsome, yet it's got that proportions and elements that make it look sporty and premium at the same time. The same side profile, as you can see, and the same is the case at the back. It looks like a typical hatchback with how the tailgate has been done. The tail lamps are the same. There's a bit of four vents that can be seen here. In terms of features list, well, to begin with, that is the rear camera, rear parking sensors, rear wiper wash, along with defogger, of course. Getting inside in this Titanium Plus model, you can see there are steering controls here, and that is the 7-inch touchscreen. It's got Ford Pass, so you can with the Ford Pass app on your phone, you can remote start stop and check car details, along with starting of the air conditioner, and everything can be done. So it's much more easier for you to getting inside the car. The same set of dials, but the new addition is of course the engine start stop button, which has always been there in the top end variants. Of course the dials look quite old, and they are, but again I think they have their charm of their own in the way they represent the old hatchbacks that we've grown up with. And you can toggle all the features from the button on this side. If you can see, these are the fuel efficiency parameters along with odometer and everything else. That's the AC, works really well. And that is the gearbox along with the 12-volt charging socket, USB port, and this is the aux port. A lot of space to keep some stuff here. That's the traction control button. That is the glove box, decently sized, not that big, not too small either. And that's how you lock doors and unlock in Fords, and this is the same case. The screen is very smooth, very fast. Yeah, I know it feels like I'm explaining an engine, but that's how it is. It's one of the best screens in this segment by a huge margin. Everything works very quickly, very fast. Of course, let's say the size is quite small, but that's about it. And you've got some storage to keep some stuff here as well. And of course, that's the big door pad. You can keep a lot of stuff over there. And let's get in the back now. At the back, as you can see, this is going to be me sitting behind my driving position. Very good legroom, very good knee room. Headroom, as always, is generous. There's no door pad here to keep some stuff. There's a speaker, and if I told you or not, the sound system is really good. There's a bit of recess here to keep some stuff. And as always, a 4-seater. Nothing great, but the base is quite large. The under thigh support is excellent. Of course, there can be 3 normal size adults can fit in here, but that's about it. You can't fit in 3 very large adults inside. Let's open the boot, which has the button here. There's no button on the tailgate. There's only a key fob, and as you can see, that is the boot of the car. Not that big by segment standards, but it still can hold 3 big bags in vertical form quite well. You've got these headrests here, which are, as you can see, adjustable, so they are good in terms of safety. Talking more about safety, well, it's got 6 airbags on the top end variant, and ABS EBD standard along with traction control is also provided. So that makes this car quite impressive in terms of safety. Given also Ford's safety, the safety features list and their aim towards safety is quite much better than most manufacturers. And now let's sum up what we feel about the Ford Figo. So how do we sum up our experience with the Figo once again, but this time with this fantastic torque converter gearbox with the 1.2 motor? Well, the Ford continues with its core strength, which means that you are getting a very fun to drive car. This time it's made it to a fantastic 6-speed torque converter gearbox. This is segment best gearbox, along with the naturally aspirated motor also is making segment best power and torque. You are also getting a good amount of safety. Ford is now focusing on the premium side, so you're getting only two variants, the Titanium and the Titanium Plus. The top of the line Titanium Plus is at 8.2 lakhs, which I think is slightly higher, given we have good amount of features, but it's not segment best. But then again, you have to realize, and what we've also realized is that the best gearbox, the best driving dynamics, the good amount of safety kit that you're getting with this car also has to be considered in this value for money package that you look forward to every single time, because these things are something that you're going to live with and experience every day, instead of a few set of features that you may or may not use every day. So that's what makes the Ford Figo good value for money, if you ask me, and that's how it should be for most of us. Of course, the driving enthusiasts know where to come to when it comes to buying cars, and they will choose something like this. But the normal consumers, the commuting guys, also need to understand that these are a very critical point that you should consider while purchasing a car, and this should be on the top of your driving. It should be on your priority list, because that's what you will be doing most of the time, driving. And this feels very nice, very confident, very easy to drive. At the same time, quite safe, very good gearbox, extremely responsive. You're not going to feel shortchanged at any single time. Of course, there are very heavyweight champions in this segment, and they will lure you to the nearest showroom. But then again, what Ford also offers is a very joyful and cheap and cheerful service experience. I think they have, and we also know for a fact that they have the lowest service cost of any other manufacturer when it comes to small cars. So be it the Figo, Aspire, EcoSport, they all have one of the lowest cost of ownership when it comes to sales and service. The fuel economy is also good, so it's not going to be a big burden on you when it comes to fuel economy. Of course, the fuel prices are at their peak, but then again, this is what completes the Ford package. Now you're getting connectivity options as well, and that is why you should consider the Ford Figo. Nevertheless, if you are a driving enthusiast or not, it is time to experience something different, and this is what the Ford Figo Automatic has to offer. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like it. Still have some questions, put them in the comment section below. Subscribe to our channel, please, and I'll see you in the next video. Follow us on social media. Until then, bye.